four beasts gave unto the seven angels 7 golden vials full of wrath, full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. Go ahead.
And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power. And no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled.
Turn over to the 7th chapter of Revelation. Because God's people have been suffering during the great tribulation. And the Lord is getting ready to afflict man. And he's not going to harm his servants. So he's going to seal them, or have them sealed. 7 and verse number 1, and go ahead.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
Now mind you, you've had the great disturbance in the heavens. The skies rolled back, making a way for the coming of the Lord. And he's sitting there. He's not here yet. And then you have the 7 angels with the 7 trumpets. And you got another 7 angels with the 7 vials of God's wrath. So the Lord is getting ready to pour out his wrath. He's not here yet. But before he pours out his wrath, again, he's going to seal his servants. Verse number 2, and go ahead.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
Saying what to him?
Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their forehead.
Again, this is the end of the great tribulation. God's getting ready to intervene in the affairs of man. And he is not going to afflict his servants. He said, he heard another angel saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we've sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Go ahead.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed. There were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Now, he is a God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It always begins with Israel. But he is a God of all people. Drop down to verse number 9 and go ahead.
After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands.
Saying what?
And cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb.
Again, he's a God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But he's a God of all people. He's not a respecter of person. Whoever is willing to serve him, he's accepting of it. But you have to serve him in accordance to the word that was given unto Israel. You have to serve him in accordance to the word that was written in this book. Everything that was written in this Bible was written by an Israelite. The old and the new. It all came from Israel. And in order to serve God, one must serve him in accordance to what he gave unto his people Israel, his chosen people. And if people just looked at what they were chosen for, they were to be a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. They were to teach the rest of the sons of Adam about the true and living God, how to serve him. That was the purpose of God's chosen people. But what we have is another is teaching us about the God of this Bible. But they were not chosen for that. They don't have any spiritual understanding. And what they are teaching us will not bring us salvation. It's going to bring damnation and destruction that the Lord is talking about here. Turn over. Now the Lord had his servant Steve. Turn over to the 16th chapter of Revelation. Because we're going to read about this wrath that God is going to pour out on the world. Because again, the Lord is going to pledge man just like he did during the days of Pharaoh. So he's pouring out his wrath, but he is still not here yet. 16 and 1, and go ahead.
And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels,
Uh-huh.
Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth.
Go ahead.
And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast.
So the first one is going to be tormented. He said the ones that have taken this mark. People are going to take a mark during the time of the great tribulation to show their affiliation with this religious organization, with this system. And he said, I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your way and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell the noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast. Go ahead.
And upon them which worshipped his image.
And again, he's afflicting them now, but later he's going to have them thrown into the lake of fire. But go ahead, verse number 3.
And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea.
What is happening is, the angel with the trumpet blows the trumpet, and then the corresponding angel pours out his vial of wrath. So the first angel blew his trumpet. You can go and read that in another chapter, and it tells you about what took place. But what we're reading about is the pouring out of the vials of wrath. Verse number 3, it said, the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it did what?
And it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea.
Go ahead.
And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood.
So the waters are going to be impacted, and you need water to live. But go ahead.
And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and wast and shalt be, because thou hast judged thus.
Go ahead.
For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. And I heard another out of the altar say, Even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments.
Go ahead.
And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which hath power over these plagues.
Now God has afflicted man, is he not? Well, we're going to see this man, if man has the sense enough to understand what it is that they need to do. Go ahead.
And they repented not to give him glory.
Just like Pharaoh, they won't acknowledge God. And God is going to continue to plague them. And just like with Pharaoh, each plague is worse than the one before. Turn over to Revelation, the 9th chapter. Because we're going to look at the blowing of the 5th trumpet to find out about this plague and see what takes place at this time. Revelation 9, and pick it up at verse number 1. Because again, this is close to the end of the Great Tribulation. The Lord is plaguing the world. But he comes immediately after. We're going to find he is the last plague. He really is going to bring destruction. What man is going to be at this particular point, they're going to be on the verge of World War III. 9 and 1, and go ahead.
And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth.
Go ahead.
And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
And this star is referring to none other than Satan. It said the 5th angel sounded his trumpet. He saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. He said that to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Just talking about obscurity. And what did he do? Go ahead.
And he opened the bottomless pit. There arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace.
Go ahead.
And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
And what he's doing is he's getting ready to assemble his army. God works through men. And Satan also works through men. And what this is simply the EU. Revived Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And there came out of the smoke locust upon the earth.
And John here, what he's referring to, his mind had been projected into the future. So what he's telling us of things that he couldn't really identify. So when he says, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, simply just talking about war machines. Go ahead.
And unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power.
Go ahead.
And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing.
So what you're talking about is chemical weapons. But go ahead.
Neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads.
Go ahead.
And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months.
Again, they didn't want to kill them. What they wanted to do is they wanted to bring them into submission. Because Western Europe is going to be trying to take over the world. He said, and there was given to them that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment what?
And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the man.
Now the skies roll back and the Lord is just sitting there looking at this. Go ahead.
And in those days shall men seek death, shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
You know, that's a terrible time. It's so bad you want to die, but the Lord ain't going to let you. Not now. He said, and in those days men shall seek death and shall not find it. They're going to desire to die, and death is going to flee from them. Drop down to verse number 11 and go ahead.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit.
Again, that's none other than Satan. They said they had a king over them. He said, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Just like Daniel, when he gave the prophecy concerning what was to happen to the temple and the coming of the Messiah, and how he said that the people of the prince was going to come and destroy the sanctuary. Well, the sanctuary was destroyed in 70 AD by Titus, a Roman general. They are the people of the prince. And the prince of this world, God is not running this world. Satan is running this world. That's why when he tempted Jesus in the wilderness, he says he took him up to a high pinnacle and showed him all the kingdoms of the earth in a moment of time. He said, all these will I give unto thee if you just bow down and worship me. God is not running this world now. Satan is running this world. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. What's his name?
Whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon.
Go ahead.
But in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
And they both simply mean destroy. Go ahead.
One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter.
Again, it's just going to get worse and worse. Just like when the Lord plagued Pharaoh. Go ahead.
And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God.
Now God is assembling his army here. Getting ready to assemble his army. Go ahead.
Saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet,
do what?
Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
Because what you have is the river Euphrates runs through Turkey. And what's going to take place when it says, said to the 6th angel which has the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. I tell you what, read verse number 15.
And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the 3rd part of men. Because
what's going ready to happen is you're going to have Russia and her allies is going to come against the West. And where they're headed to, if you look at a map, if you look at Russia in comparison to Jerusalem, it's as far northeast as you can get. And then Russia and her allies, which is China, they're coming against the EU, and they're going to be located over in Jerusalem because that's where the religious man is going to take up shop. And to get there, they're going to have to come across Turkey, and they're going to have to come across the Euphrates River. It said, now say it to the 6 angels which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year to do this. God is behind all this, for to slay a third part of men. They're going to kill a third part of the population. You got over 7 billion people. That's over 2 billion people that are going to be destroyed. Go ahead.
And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them.
Again, that's 200 million men. That's Russia and her allies. And even if you look at the world today, what is taking place? You have Russia and China doing army maneuvers together. They are in alliance. It said, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. Go ahead.
And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth, and brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone.
And again, John is just simply talking about war. Go ahead.
18. But these three was the third. By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouth.
They're going to be destroying everything that is in their sight. Turn over to Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Because the east is going to attack. I'm sorry, Revelation 16, thank you. Because Eastern Europe has been attacked by the West, because the West wanted to bring them into submission. And now they're en route to attack Western Europe. 16, and pick it up at verse number 12. Go ahead when you get there.
And the 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates.
Go ahead.
And the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Again, that's all the nations that's east of the Euphrates. That's Russia and her ally, China. Go ahead. Iran. Go ahead.
And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon.
Go ahead.
And out of the mouth of the beast.
Go ahead.
And out of the mouth of the false prophet.
Again, simply means that their words are unclean. And what they are doing, they are promoting war. But the words they are speaking are whose words? It said, I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon is simply none other than Satan. And out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, you're going to have a military man, and you're going to have this religious leader. And they're going to be speaking words that are to lead unto war. Go ahead.
For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world.
To do what?
To gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty.
Again, God is orchestrating all of this. Go ahead.
Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments.
He said, not behold. He said, I come as a thief. Jesus is letting us know. He said, I'm coming. He said, but I come as a thief. But that is only to those who are unaware. Because he has made it abundantly clear that he is coming back, what his intentions are, what his objective is, and how he is to accomplish all of it. He said, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. Lest he do what?
Lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
Then you know you have to remain focused, to remain steadfast in the faith. You cannot get caught up in the world. You got to live in the present, but you got to always be mindful of the future. All of this that is in this world, including life itself, is temporal. If you don't live until the second coming of the Lord, you will die. All of us. And he's letting you know This is not important. What is important is what the Lord has in store for those who are obedient